Hi and Assalamualaikum. Me and my members, including Nur Azia, Li Wanjing, Teng Jiai, Asfini, Nurin Afika and Amira from Group D will be presenting about food packaging waste. Food packaging protect the product from mechanical damage, contamination and deterioration. It also discloses information to the customer regarding the content, composition and instruction for safe use. Food packaging waste has been considered as source of environmental waste because of its large volume, and plus food packaging has been used plastic, and plastic disposal has been considered as major environmental issue. Next. In this slide, we will talk about types of packaging, plastic recycling, glass recycling, aluminum recycling, paper recycling, and lastly, conclusion.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Now we are going to go into the types of food packaging. There are four, which are plastic, glass, aluminium, and paper or carton. So the first type of food packaging is plastic packaging. So the first one is the first method of plastic recycling. We have mechanical recycling, factor or chemical recycling, environmentally sound manner, plastic waste disposal through plasma pyrolysis technology (PPT), and alternative methods. So the first one is mechanical recycling. Mechanical recycling is the means by which the waste plastic is being reprocessed into plastic products, meaning that from waste it becomes a plastic product. So how the event took place? The event took place by first we're removing the contaminants from the plastic waste, and then we sort the plastic accordingly, so whether it's PVC or polystyrene, and how we usually sort the waste. And then we're going to go into the next step, which is the grinding process, because we want to get a small and smoother texture of the waste. And then we're going to go into the washing. The next step is filtering, because when we do the washing, there might be some contaminants from the water. So we will filter the contaminants and remove it. And then the next step is drying. And after drying, the plastic will be melt down into plastic flakes. And then the molten plastic will be undergo extruding process into thin strands, and the thin strand will be chopped into small and uniform pieces, and finally we get the end products, which is pellets. And for example, if the company wants to produce a new plastic products, the pellets will be melted down and they will shape it into the desired shapes. And then the next recycling methods are feedstock or chemical recycling. Feedstock or chemical recycling is where the polymeric products is being broken down into individual components, and then these components are fed back as raw material to reproduce same products or new products. And it has a few methods, which are depolymerization, that involve glycolysis, methanolysis, hydrolysis, and aminolysis, gasification or partial oxidation, thermal degradation such as thermal cracking, pyrolysis, and steam cracking, catalytic cracking and reforming, and finally hydrogenation. Next, I will pass into the next presenter, Jai.
Now I would like to talk about plastic recycling through environmentally sound manner. This is the process whereby the recycling process is done in a manner that helps to reduce pollution to the environment. The advantage of this process is that it helps to enhance the process efficiency, conserve energy and save resources, because plastic is actually made from natural resources such as crude oil and natural gas. And this process also helps to reduce the need for landfilling, because we are recycling instead of disposing the waste. Oh, sorry, I haven't done this slide yet. There are four types of environmentally sound manner plastic recycling. The first one is primary recycling, whereby the plastic waste will be processed into a product that has a similar property as the original item. And the types of plastic that is commonly used in this process is polyethylene terephthalate (PET) plastic, which is commonly used in bottles, containers, for food products. And for this process, for example, if the plastic waste initially is the bottle for beverage, then it will be processed into containers for other food products in this primary recycling process. For the secondary recycling process, the plastic waste will be processed into a product that is different from the initial plastic object. And the typical plastic that is processed in this secondary recycling is polystyrene, polyethylene, and polypropylene. For example, if the polystyrene is initially used as a container for yogurt, then it will be processed into a cloth hanger. For the tertiary recycling process, the plastic waste will be used to produce basic chemicals and fuels, which are then treated as municipal waste. All types of plastic can be recycled using tertiary process. And finally, the quaternary process is the retrieval of energy from the burning or incineration of plastic waste. And similar to tertiary process, all types of plastic can be recycled in this process. Next slide. Now I would like to talk about plasma pyrolysis technology. This is the process whereby carbonaceous materials are degraded through heat to produce fragments of compounds without oxygen. This process is affected by several factors, such as the constituent and particle size of the plastic waste, temperature of the process, moisture content of the waste, retention time, and the heating rate. The advantage of this process include prevent the formation of dioxins and furans, which are toxic, and highly efficient because it can convert almost 99% of the organic waste into non-toxic products, such as carbon dioxide and water. Also, it helps to kill bacteria which can normally survive at higher temperature, such as Bacillus stereothermophilus and Bacillus subtilis. It also produces high-quality oil and gas, such as crude oil and natural gas. Carbon dioxide. Next slide, please. Adia. For the plasma pyrolysis technology process, the plastic waste is first loaded into the primary chamber at 850 degrees through a feeder. Then carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and methane and other higher hydrocarbons will be produced as the plastic waste disintegrates. Then the plastic waste and the gases produced will then be transferred to the secondary chamber and burned at higher temperature, which is 1050 degrees Celsius. The final products of this process are carbon dioxide and water. Next slide, please. Alternative methods for plastic recycling include co-processing of plastic waste as an alternative fuel and raw material. This is the process whereby the waste substances will be reused in industry processes, such as the production of cement, lime, or steel, power stations, or other large combustion plants. In this process, the recovered waste or waste materials will be used to replace the primary fuels and other raw materials. And the second alternative method is polymer blended bitumen route, whereby the plastic waste will be used for road construction. In this process, the plastic waste will be shredded into required sizes, which is approximately 2 to 4 mm, and then they will be mixed with other stone aggregates such as granite, and then mixed with hot bitumen. And this resulting product will be used for road laying. The advantage of these methods is that it helps to save fossil fuels. As I said just now, plastic is actually made from crude oil. And the second advantage is that it helps to reuse plastic waste instead of disposing it and reduce the need for plastic waste management and landfilling. That's all from me. I would like to pass the presentation to the next presenter.
So for the glass recycling, I will start with the introduction. So the glass has been used for about 100 years ago. The revolution of glass makes the glass cheaper now than before. So the glass made from silica, which is help in forming the glass, sodium carbonate as the melting agent, alumina as the stabilizer. So for the process, after the mixing of the silica, sodium carbonate, and alumina, the high temperature will melt the mixture and forming into the thick liquid, and the thick liquid is poured into the mold and to become the glass. So the advantage of the glass recycling is energy saving. Next. So this is the basic step of the glass recycling. Firstly, we will start with the rinsing because we want to remove the impurities. Next is remove the cap and lid because we want to remove any unrelated to glass. Because we want to recycle the glass only, so we need to remove all the unrelated to the glass. So after remove the cap, we will separate the color, and lastly breaking and crushing. This is to because for the easy to the recycling process. Next. So this is the start of the glass recycling. Firstly, we'll move to the left waste glass. First, we start with the waste glass. Will be sorted into the color. After that, pre-sorting and crushing. Crushing, we want to make the recycling process easy. We will remove the metal and paper because sometimes at the glass packaging, we use metal as the lid and the paper as the packaging. So we will use by using a magnet extractor and paper extractor. After remove the metal and paper, we'll move to the sieving process because we want to make it more smaller size. After that, we removal of wrong color and other impurity, and then melting, molding, and we will go to the glass process of making the glass again. So I think I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, for aluminium, in the primary production of aluminium, the mined bauxite is melted into alumina, which is aluminum oxide. So the process of aluminium smelting is defined as the extraction of aluminium from alumina. And in this primary production, the waste produced this process uses a lot of water and creates a toxic sludge that is caustic, and this wastewater may contain radioactive elements or heavy metals. Besides that, the primary production of aluminium also emit greenhouse gases, sulfur dioxide, dust, and wastewater. So the common aluminium food packaging are divided into three types, which is rigid, flexible, and semi-flexible. The example of rigid packages are bottles, trays, cans, jars, and caps. For flexible package, there are cling wraps, squeezable tubes, and also vacuum bags. The last one is semi-flexible packages, such as caps, boxes, and Tetra packs. Next. So there are some reasons for aluminium recycling, and also it is their advantages. The first one is there is no quality losses. Aluminium recycling will not alter the atomic structure of the aluminium itself, so this process can be repeated many times, and aluminium can be recycled repeatedly. The second one is save energy. In aluminium recycling, 95% of sorry, back to the next slide. In Aluminum recycling, 95% of energy is saved compared to the primary metal extraction. The next one is economic value. Aluminum recycling saves more than 90% of the energy cost compared to primary production. So it saves energy and also saves cost. The last one is environmental benefit. Aluminum recycling can save 9 tons of CO2 emissions and also 4 tons of bauxite, which is the raw material for producing aluminum. Next. So the steps of aluminum recycling. Firstly, the aluminum can is shredded into smaller pieces, and then it will be sent into the delacquering oven to remove paint, labels, and also residual moisture. Next, the small pieces of aluminum are screened to remove dirt and also contaminants. Then they are sent to the rotary furnace, which is 800 degrees Celsius to melt the can. And after the cans are melted, they will be blended with molten metal. And this will form large blocks of blended metal called ingots. So the ingots blocks will be sent to mills to be rolled out into flat pieces for greater flexibility and also strength. Then the rolled aluminum pieces can be made into other aluminum products again. Next. Okay, I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, I will present about paper or carton recycling. Basically, paper is or carton usually made from the leftover either from recycled paper or board or sawmill residue. The advantages of using paper or carton: it is versatile, cost-efficient, sturdy, lightweight, and it is can be customized to meet product or customer specific needs. And the advantages of paper or carton recycling: it can reduce greenhouse effect, as recycling paper can reduce the emission of methane and carbon dioxide. It also can save energy and water. Number of energy intensive steps and process that use water are reduced, and then recycle fiber is sustainable as it's cost saving resource for making new paper products. And the types of paper packaging such as container boards, paper board, paper bags, and shipping sacks. Next. Okay, this is the step for paper or carton recycling. First, pulping waste paper, then screening and cleaning, and then we go through the thickening, and then dispersing, and then deflecting and defining, and then sheet formation, pressing and drying, and lastly, it will form back into the paper. Okay, I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you. As a conclusion from this presentation, we can conclude that packaging and despite and convenience is provided to the consumers, it's subject to many debates concerning environmental issues. It has been considered a constant source of environmental waste due to its volume, since it occupies close to two-thirds of trash can volume. Plastic waste management has assumed great signification in view of urban activities. Plastic waste generated by polymers manufacturers at the production, extraction, quality control, and laboratory testing and extra. It is urgent that disposal and recycling should be done to avoid the health hazards. So that's all from us. Thank you for watching and thank you from us. Take care.